This week in class, we've been talking about the introduction to measures of center. The measures of center are mean, median, and mode. And I always like to add range to this list too. So this video is going to help you remember how to find the mean, median, mode, and range. So the mean is the average of the data. So what we're going to do is we have this data set that we have up here at the top. We're going to use that for all of the examples in this video. So the mean, so there's two steps to it. So step one is to add up all of the data. So I'm going to take 13 plus 18 and add up all of my numbers. Oops. So when I add up all of my numbers, I get that they all equal 135. So, but I'm not done. So in step two, I'm going to divide step one by the number of data points. So in step one, I got 135, and I'm going to divide it by how many numbers I have. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to take 135, and I'm going to divide it by 9. And so my answer is going to be 15. So my mean, or as it's also known as the average, is 15. The next thing we're going to find is the median. So the median is the middle value in a list of data when numbers are ordered least to greatest. So let's put our numbers. So that, again, this one has two steps. So step one is to order the numbers from least to greatest. So I see that 13 is my smallest number. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I'm going to write the 13 4 times. See, my next smallest number is 14. There's 2 of those. I'm going to write both of those down. Oops, not 15 yet. I'm going to write both. Oh, I wrote 15 again. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to write both 14s. There's no 15, 16, 18, and 21. So then step two is to cross off numbers from each end until you find the middle number. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my numbers again in order from what I did from step one. And then I'm going to find my middle number. So I'm going to mark off a number from this end and a number from this end. I have to keep it balanced on both ends. So I'm going to mark a number off of each end until I get to the middle number. So my middle number is 14. So I marked off 4 numbers from this end. So that means on the right-hand side, I need to have marked off 4 numbers as well. So that means I have my median is 14. Now there are some special cases where you do not have an odd number, you have an even number. So let's take a look at what that is. So let's say that I have this data set right here below, and I've got 6, 7, 1, 5, 4, and 2. So let's find the median of that. So the first thing again is to put my numbers in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there was step one. So step two is to mark off from each end. So I'm going to mark 1 off from the left, 1 off from the right, 1 from the left, 1 from the right. I've got 2 over here and 2 over there. There's not enough, so I'm left with the 2 numbers in the middle. So when you're left with both numbers in the middle, what you do is you're going to add them up. So I'm going to take 4 plus 5, and that's going to give me 9. Since there are 2 numbers, I'm going to divide what I just added by 2. So 9 divided by 2 gives me 4.5. So that means my median is 4.5. So if you have an even number of data points, you're always going to have to do this extra step. If you have an odd number of data points, it always comes out to the one that's in the middle. So now let's take a look at the mode. The mode is the easiest one. So the mode is the number or numbers that appear the most. So I like to look at the first two letters of mode. They're M and O. I like to think of the mode as the number that is seen the most often. All right, so there's my M, there's my O. It's the number that I see the most. So let's take a count at how many each numbers we have. So with the 13, I see that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. With the number 14, let's see, I'm going to mark my 13s off so I don't count them again. 14, I see those twice. 16, I see that once. 18, I see that once. And 21, I see that once. So my mode is the 13. I've got 4 of them, so that's the number that I see the most. So in this case, my mode with this data set is 13. Now there are some special occasions where if you have, so in this case, so if we had seen 14 4 times as well, my mode would have been 13 and 14. But in this case, 13 had the highest amount, so it's my one and only mode. Last thing we're going to talk about is the range. It's the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. So let's take a look. So my biggest number that I have here is my 21. My smallest number that I see is 13. So even though there's multiple 13s, I only just need to take care of the one. So what I'm going to do is when I find range, I take the biggest number minus the smallest number. So my biggest number is 21, so I'm just going to fill in the blanks, minus 13. So 21 minus 13 gives me 8. So my range for my data set that I have is 8. And that's my final answer. And that's it. That's all you have to do.